Alright, so you clicked on the video. I think I need to give you some context. So, this man right here is the leader of a cult. It's called the Alatra cult. It's in Ukraine. I did research. I will have a video coming out about this. It's a crazy rabbit hole deep dive. But he's a cult leader, and he has a cadre of women who surround him. And it's this huge Alatra TV cult, and you might see it as Creative Society. They have a huge network of fucking AI garbage trash, but it's a cult. It's a cult. And in this interview, and you'll see these a lot. I'm going to talk about a couple of these. You're going to watch him indoctrinate someone into the cult. It's scary. So him and him are going to indoctrinate her into the cult, and watch how they do it.
I want to interview Olga, who came to us from America, and Igor Vladimirovich. Well, I decided to try something new, you know, as they say. Experience is a great thing. A piece of bread is needed in old age. Who knows what my life will turn out to be, right? Here's a simple question for Olga. Olga, in your opinion, is it necessary for people who decided to build a creative society to read the book Alatra before they start building it? You've just asked me this question, haven't you? You have. So she has asked me this question. But I want to address it back to her, you see? Answer it, please.
Oh, Igor Mikhailovich, it would certainly be desirable, because there is a lot of useful information there. But in fact, the answer is no. Everything begins with a person oneself.
Just the way she addressed him alone, right? Oh, Igor Mikhailovich, right? That's his name. Igor Mikhailovich Danilov. But do you notice what he's doing here, right? So she thinks that this is an interview and that this is for YouTube. And that's why they uploaded it. But that's not what it's really about. What it's about is it's about getting her to repeat the rhetoric back to him. It's about her to recite it in her own head and make her think it's her own ideas, right? So she was told that she was going to ask the question, but then he asked the question back to her. And the idea is that there's shit that they've recited. There's shit that they've, convinced her of, right? And he wants her to recite it back to him. And that's something key that you have to understand.
With one's choice. If a person really wants to study himself deeply, to comprehend the nature of thoughts, where his desires come from, what urges him to various actions, and in what society he wants to live, then he doesn't necessarily need to read the book Alatra. He can start acting already now with this inner work in himself in order to stop being selfish, at least in some little things.
May I ask you another question? What is selfishness?
Well, selfishness is when everything revolves around you.
And why does everything revolve around you?
I don't know. Because there's no love?
How come there is no love if everything revolves around you?
Yes, but you keep wanting everything for yourself. You're not ready. You know, earlier
Look how sincerely she's saying it. You have to agree, right? She can.
Well, it's just that
So what he's doing is he's happy that he's indoctrinating her.
earlier I really wanted to have a child. Why did I want to have him? So that he would love me. I mean, I didn't want to give him love, but I wanted him to love me. I wanted to be a god for him. So it turns out that
So this is the thing, right? This guy, Danilov, has a cadre of women, right? He has a bunch of women. They're basically his slaves. And he convinced her not to have a child. And he convinced her that, you just want to be a god, right? Because that's what he wants to be, right? He is a cult leader. He is a leader of a pretty large cult in Ukraine. And now he's making it seem like it was her idea.
but I wanted him to love me. I wanted to be a god for him. So it turns out that everyone, well, sort of a great many people are not capable. Well, they are capable, but they sort of don't want to or don't know how to give love. I don't know how to explain this. They only want everything for themselves. But if we want to grab even love for ourselves, it's like you said in the video, a man wants a lot of women. Why does...
It's like you said in the video. What video is she talking about, right? There was an indoctrination video that he showed her. Right? There was an indoctrination video that he showed her. It's like you said in the video. I'm deep in this. If you don't know, I'm 2 days in. I've been researching this stuff. A long, deep dive rabbit hole. But I just wanted to show you guys this because this is insanity. Maybe I'm going crazy. Tell me if I'm going crazy.
he want them in order to be loved, but he doesn't want to love any of them. So even in this aspect, consumer society already emerges where we want all the best for ourselves. The best clothes, the best goods, new products, everything only for ourselves.
But we are people. Well, people always do that, don't they?
Yes.
People always want all the best for themselves, for their beloved selves, because whom do they actually love?
Themselves. But not their true selves.
Of course, not the true selves, but they do love themselves.
They do.
Yet, what is needed for everything to be right? Let's ask our expert, Igor Vladimirovich.
For everything to be right, it is necessary to be happy. If you are happy, everything around you will also be changed, and everyone around you will be happy. Perhaps everything begins with the first step, probably with understanding the meaning of life. One should even ask oneself a question: what do we live here for? Is it really for the sake of doing something, getting richer, achieving something, some kind of greatness or some status in society? But what is next? Really, it turns out, if there is nothing, then why was it all needed? It actually flew by like a blink and was over. So everything begins with the question: what is all this for? What is the meaning of life? And then there is already the inner impulse: how to be happy. After all, everyone wants to be happy. And what is happiness? This very search, which has probably lasted for many centuries already, people ask themselves.
This is the most deep-fried rhetoric you've ever heard in your life, right? Like, I'm kind of sleep deprived. Tell me in the comments if this is like insanity to you guys. Like, he's saying nothing. He's saying nothing and making it seem like it's her idea.
This question, but the answer is very simple. Happiness is actually what you have inside. If you are happy not because you have a beautiful car or, I don't know, a long-legged wife or a lot of children. You are happy simply because you are happy, because you are in love and you are in harmony. This love is pouring out of you. It is around you. It is in people who are next to you. You see this love in everyone, and you see what is beautiful in everyone. Probably that's what everything begins with. People should start exactly with this, to be happy. Then there will be happiness around them.
Thank you very much. Indeed, this is true. In order to be happy, you should be happy.
Listen to what they just said. They just said, in order to be happy, you should be happy. What they're trying to argue is, to this woman, Olga, is, you know, these things aren't important. You're crazy. You're thinking silly. Like, you should just be okay with the, you know, Ferrari I live in and the slum you live in because you're my cult leader or whatever, right? This is what they're trying to implant into her head.
If a person doesn't know what love is, he knows nothing in this world. Yet, I would like to ask Olga another question. Is your husband happy?
No.
Why? Because your legs aren't long?
No, because he has...
Again, like, did he harass her? Not really, like, but it's bordering there. And you can tell, I think, like, I know background on this guy. I know that he does have a bunch of sex slaves or whatever. That was not some sort of funny haha joke. That was... I know what was going on in his head.
Hasn't done what Igor has just described.
Why hasn't he done it?
Well, I don't know why. Because consciousness tells him that happiness isn't three-dimensionality, and also because he says even rich people...
Happiness isn't three-dimensionality. Do you hear this, like, cult rhetoric that they're using? This is something that a lot of cults do. They just make random words out of nothing, random importantness out of nothing. And what is happiness isn't three-dimensionality? What are they talking about? These people are deep-fried. This woman is so deep. I feel so bad for her. I pray that she makes it up.
People are unhappy. So why are you talking about some happiness that is constant? There is no such thing.
I know something different, that even rich people are happy. If they want it, of course.
So it turns out that a person himself doesn't want to be happy.
Absolutely right. If a person doesn't want to be happy, neither wealth nor poverty, nothing will help him attain happiness. Happiness has nothing to do with material wealth.
So it turns out that one should just want to be happy?
Well, by and large, yes. It all starts with being happy. It starts from wanting to be happy and understanding what happiness is.
So I think you can see how he uses this rhetoric to justify them not having anything and him having everything, right? I mean, you can see where he's going with this, right? He is a cult leader. we know where he's trying to go with this, and he's winning, right? In this interview, he got her to recite back his own rhetoric, make it sound like it was her idea, make her think it was her idea, and make her think it was her own thinking. So he hypnotized her, right? This is what real hypnotism is. Hypnotism is not the like wave it in front of your head or whatever, with the flashing lights or whatever. This is hypnotism. Hypnotism is repetition, right? The way you memorize something is you repeat it. And what he just did to her is he had her, again, and this is like the 5th time I said it because I want you to understand, because I'm hypnotizing you, is he is trying to indoctrinate her by getting her to repeat what he said.
Everything is simple indeed. In the beginning, it's very difficult to understand or overcome this. How is that? I even encounter many guys and ask them, how are you doing? Somehow there are such problems, they press on me. Just don't pay attention to them, don't fuel them. How is that? What do you mean, don't pay attention? Okay, even if they shoot you tomorrow, for instance, why would you be unhappy now? It's only going to happen tomorrow, and then maybe it won't happen. But you are already in those worries, and you are wasting your entire life, all your attention on the idea that something negative is going to happen, while as a rule, everything that happens is not really the way consciousness tells you. Consciousness always exaggerates. It always says that everything is horrible, and it turns out that we live in expectation.
You see why they're saying this, right? Your conscience is lying to you. Don't trust your own thoughts. Only trust Danilov and his henchmen, right? Right? Like, this is insane. You tell me you see this, right? Like, tell me you understand that this is what is happening here. Like, he is. She's so deep fried. She's so done for. It's so over.
Of something, or we cling to the past, that someone offended us, someone is so bad, or I lost something somewhere. How come? I needed it all so much. Listen, just live happily and be happy, and you don't need anything. Whereas when you are worried, when you think that some problems overpower you and prevent you from being happy, that's not true. These are just excuses. While in order to be happy, you should simply be happy.
Thank you very much. So, my friends, in order to be happy, as Igor Vladimirovich said, you should simply be happy. Isn't that right, Olga?
That's right.
Right?
Right.
That's right, my friends. Thank you.